here with us today and speaking on this important topic. Chairman Duncan, let me just ask you, you kind of brought it up in your opening statement, but for people who say, it seems like we've seen this bill in the Rules Committee before, is that an accurate statement?
I think we've seen Bill Johnson's bill in this committee before because I testified for the chair, Rogers, yes.
So because of the retirement of Chairman Johnson, it became necessary to reintroduce the bill with a new sponsor. Is that not correct?
That's the way I understand it, yes, sir.
So if you believe in the concept that this is a valuable resource that needs to be appropriately exported, then it's necessary to bring up Chairman Johnson's bill again, now under August Pfluger's being the lead author. So it seems to make sense that we would hear it again. I guess I would further state that, I mean, we both know this because we sat through the hearings, we sat through the markups. This was part of a much larger energy package, and I'll just make a pitch for the permitting part of that bill also needs to be considered because we do need the ability to move natural gas around in this country, and the lack of pipelines has been severely constraining. I want to point out, and I'm going to introduce this for the record, and without objection so ordered, this is a Wall Street Journal article from about a year ago that talks about the 5-year engineering feat Germany pulled off in months because of their horror at having natural gas supplies cut off from the war in Ukraine and then the Nord Stream pipeline. Germany got busy, and they got busy with rapid permitting and building of a liquefied natural gas import facility and built it literally in record time. And it's not just one, there's several that they're building. So I would just ask, I mean, it seems like there is a market for the product that the United States is selling, is there not?
There is, and they would rather buy it from the United States than buy it from adversarial countries like Russia or Venezuela, Iran. And they're going to buy it from somewhere because they've got to meet their energy needs.
And we've seen the problems with enriching Russia and Iran. They've destabilized the geopolitical situation around the world. Why wouldn't it make sense to sell to our ally, West Germany, Germany, and not cause them to seek to go buy it from a country that's going to ultimately be damaging on the world stage?
Absolutely, and as I mentioned in my statement, Vladimir Putin has turned the spigot off to Europe before it influenced them in their political posture. So the United States doesn't do that. We sell to the highest bidder. We help our allies. And after Russia invaded Ukraine, Eastern Europe and Western Europe looked west to the United States to sell them liquefied natural gas to meet their energy needs.
So let me just address the fact that this has been referred to as a messaging bill. Here's the problem. The problem is basically President Biden has decided to restrict the sale of natural gas to our allies via a press release, not an executive order. No rule and comment period was available to constituents. So it is necessary to send a message, and the message is not no, but hell no, President Obama. Mr. Pallone, you look like you wanted to say something, so I'll be happy to yield to you.
Well, I mean, look, I'm trying not to be too bad here, but, you know, a couple of days ago, your presidential candidate, former President Trump, literally said that, you know, he didn't care what Russia did in Eastern Europe, that they could take everything and it wouldn't make any difference to him. And most of you are, and your own speaker has said you're not even willing to provide aid to Ukraine under what the Senate has passed. He's not even going to take up the bill. So, I mean, it's a little ironic for you guys to be talking about aid to Ukraine and fighting Putin when your candidate is saying, or your former president is saying, Putin can do whatever he wants, and I don't care. But the point I'm trying to make is that right now, there's so much supply that the European Commission has actually said, you know, we're not going to be hindered in any way by, you know, the need for exports of LNG to the United States. This is all about the public interest, right? And the concern which existed with oil when you decided to have unlimited supply of that sent overseas. Now, if you did this with natural gas, the price of gas is going to go up here in the United States. And the President Biden is simply saying, we need to take a pause and look at this from the public interest point of view, which is required by law under the Natural Gas Act. So what's the big problem here? We're not saying there's going to be a supply problem to Europe. If anything, the only country that's going to benefit from this bill is China. And every day, you know, in our committee, you guys keep coming in and saying China's the problem. We're competing with China. Well, why are you going to give them unlimited supplies of natural gas so they can build up their military, build up their economy, when they're the major competitor to us from a security and economic point of view? I just don't understand how you can justify this. But again, I've already said this. I'm just repeating the same thing.
Well, I think Chairman Duncan pointed out accurately that global emissions are a problem globally.
Well, I haven't
And
even mentioned the climate aspect,
If
you know.
if you want China to reduce its emissions, provide them a pathway for that to happen. Is that essentially what you said in your testimony?
Absolutely. And I would love to see China buy more U.S. produced natural gas. I'd rather every country buy it. It's an open market. The producers can sell it to the highest bidder out there. That's how a capitalist society that makes America so great works. You know, the Democrats want to say that this isn't a ban, that this is a temporary pause, but it's an indefinite pause. It has the same effect as a ban. And they say that it's so that the DOE can do yet another study to determine the public interest. Look, the DOE has already commissioned 5 studies to examine the effects of U.S. LNG exports, and the results unanimously demonstrate the benefits to the U.S. economy and domestic natural gas prices. DOE has also issued 2 studies that examine the life cycle greenhouse gas impacts of U.S. LNG exports, showing strong environmental benefits. And so 2 prior presidential administrations conducted these studies without blocking export permits or by pausing them through some sort of press release.
Well, I thank both of you for your testimony today. I found it very enlightening. I will be happy to yield to the gentlelady from Pennsylvania for her questions.